After a long day of mountain biking, this is all I need to spend a night out here in the backcountry. Here in the heart of the Colorado Rockies, traveling light doesn't mean you have to skimp on the luxuries. Hi, I'm John Viehman. Join me as we ride hut to hut on the 10th Mountain Division Trail and make our own adventure on Trailside.
Trailside is brought to you in part by Chevy Trucks. Next time you're having fun outdoors, remember, you're not alone. And LL Bean, providing sporting gear and apparel for people who love the outdoors for over 80 years. And Weider Nutrition Group, makers of Tiger Sport bars. Nutrition for your body, fuel for your sport.
In World War II, an area of the Colorado Rockies just outside Aspen was the closest thing to a training ground that the U.S. Army could find as it prepared troops for the rugged mountains of northern Italy. So they built a camp near here. 15,000 men eventually climbed and skied their way toward Europe on these peaks, and they were part of what's called the 10th Mountain Division. Well, it was 40 years after the war that a memorial to those courageous men was finally put into place. And it's unlike any memorial I've ever seen. The 10th Mountain Division hut system, as it's called, spans 300 miles of mountain trails. And thanks to the generous contributions of private citizens, you can enjoy the views from any one of 9 spacious huts built an easy day's hike, ski, or ride away. Those cushy huts mean you can leave the bulky camping equipment behind and hop on a nice light bike. Well, we'll be rolling out of Yeoman Park Trailhead, elevation 8,800 feet. And for the next few days, we'll be climbing and pedaling our way to almost 12,000 feet as we come up and over the Continental Divide. Riding with us is Charlie Tarver, a guy who doesn't mind being described as someone who just refuses to grow up. That's partly the reason why he runs The Hub, one of the country's leading bike shops. And it also explains why he founded the Aspen Youth Cycling Program about 6 years ago. In that short time, his coaching has produced 4 state champions. But you know, if you asked him, he'd tell you that he gets just as much satisfaction out of coordinating the annual Aspen 4th of July Kids Bike Parade. How many kids did you have last year?
Last year we had about 110 3 to 10-year-olds.
Pretty crazy day?
It was a pretty wild afternoon.
Well, speaking of wild, look at this bike. What's this?
Yeah, what we've got, instead of just front suspension, we also have rear suspension.
And so this is some kind of shock absorber right here?
Yeah, it's a shock absorber, and what it does, it takes the roughness out of the terrain, which helps actually with the efficiency of the bicycle, but most importantly, it helps keep my back young.
Yeah, probably gives you a few extra miles in the course of a day too, huh?
A few extra miles, and we notice them towards the last day. It's going to be the nicest. So you're going with the clipless pedals?
Yeah, they're sort of new to me, but I thought I'd give them a try and see how they work.
Well, they're incredibly efficient, and because you've got the cleat on the bottom of your shoe attached directly to the pedal, whatever you put into your bike goes into efficiency instead of moving around like the old toe strap and toe clip did. It's also actually safer because this system's designed to release, where the other one's designed to retain.
Yeah.
So what else? Oh, we got the new altimeter computer too.
Yep, I thought I'd keep track of the altitude instead of the miles out here in the mountains. That's more important, right?
Yeah, especially by the end of the trip, we'll find that the amount of elevation change that we've gone through is more indicative of how much work we've done as opposed to how many miles have gone.
Are you ready to load up the panniers and get them on the bikes?
Yep.
Okay. To carry gear on a mountain bike, you want to make sure you have a bomb-proof rack that attaches securely to your bike frame. And as far as panniers go, well, there are a lot of systems on the market. The important thing is that your pannier attached securely to that rack. You don't want it bouncing around when you go down a bumpy trail. Hey, now you've got a free-floating rear wheel, so what kind of system do you use to attach your panniers?
Well, what we're going to do is use the same points of attachment, but instead of solid metal, using an elastic bungee system. So even while the rear end's active, we got a good solid pannier on there.
Hey, on this bike, there's not even a place to carry your water bottles. So what are you doing for a water system?
No, there isn't, but I've got a backpack that holds water. And then what I do is just drink through this tube. Allows my hands to be free too, so I can keep holding my handlebars and my brakes.
Oh, now that's a pretty slick system.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, out here, even clothing is equipment, right?
You bet. From basic padded bike short, which gives you a little bit of cushion, but a lot of chafing resistance against your saddle. Your gloves. You've got a padded palm in there, helps reduce the friction against your hands from the grips. And if you do happen to go down and take a spill, keep your hands from getting torn up. Even jerseys, no longer cotton t-shirt. Now it's a high-tech fabric, keeps you cool and dry. Another nice thing about them, got pockets back here for gloves, energy bars, and hopefully we won't need it, but a rain jacket.
Yeah, I hope we don't need that. And finally, your most important piece of equipment is your helmet. And these days, they're lightweight and well ventilated, so there's really no reason not to wear one. So what's up ahead?
We got about a 2,000-foot climb, so we just want to kind of ease into it, enjoy the view.
Now that sounds like a great idea. You can really start to feel the altitude now.
Well, with every 1,000 feet we gain, we lose about 3% oxygen.
And where'd all these roads come from anyway?
Actually, most of them were put in before turn of the century, about 100 years ago, by miners.
You mean like with mules and stuff?
This is old horse track, mules, wagons, trying to get the silver ore out. Now they're here just for us.
I notice you're spending a lot of time on your handlebar ends. How come?
Well, I think being on the bar ends gives you a little bit more climbing efficiency, especially if you keep your elbows in. We pull back instead of up. The other thing, it just gives your wrists another position so they don't get quite as tired.
Yeah, that feels pretty good. Now, you're really not coming out of the saddle much as we go up these hills. Do you have a theory about whether it's more efficient to sit or stand?
Well, I think the only time that you should really get out of the saddle is to stretch your back or a short power burst. For the most part, we've got 24 gears on these bikes. We want to keep our cadence high and really use our gears and become really efficient climbers.
Yeah, but you know, with this altitude, all that technique and technology, it still won't get you there without a positive attitude. Yeah, looks like we finally crested that one. And check it out. That was over 2,000 feet elevation gain.
Well, at least we started the downhill.
Yeah.
Let's take a break, take a look at the map.
Okay.
I'll show you where we are. Okay. Well, this morning, we started down at Yeoman Park, and if we've come up 2,000 feet, that puts us pretty near the Eston Hut. And the downhill, well, that'll keep going all the way to where we're staying tonight, at the Gates Hut. There's also some really neat trails in the woods, some winding, twisting trails we'll go right on.
Then where are we going the next day?
Next day, we start out with a really casual morning. Then in the afternoon, we're going to have to do a little bit of work to get up to the Betty Bear Hut. That's where we'll spend tomorrow night. And then you know what day 3 has in store for us.
Yeah, that's Hagerman's Pass and up and over the Continental Divide.
You bet, that's exactly where we're going. In fact, we can see almost our whole route from right here. We start out, Yeoman Park is off to the right, and as we kind of go across the valley, you can see way down that open field, that's the Harry Gates Hut. Then the next day, we'll go up over that bald knob, and that's where we'll stay at the Betty Bear Hut. Our final day, we'll go up way to the left on the snow-covered ridgeline. That's Hagerman Pass and the Continental Divide.
Well, this is a great view, but you know, I'm really looking forward to that downhill section coming up.
Well, we'll be flying.
So what's the technique for getting downhill safely around here?
Well, the first thing you want to do is never go too hard on your brakes. You just want to feather them.
Okay.
Then keep your body loose. Start with your hands, no death grips on the grips. Keep your elbows bent, take up shock. And the same thing with your legs. Use your legs as shock absorbers and just have fun.
It's going to be tough to do out here, isn't it? Well, hut's a bit of an understatement when you're talking about a place that looks like this.
Well, the Harry Gates hut's actually pretty typical of all the huts in the 10th mountain system. Sounds to be one of my favorites. I don't know how many times I skied into here in the winter. I've been mighty happy to see this place.
Look at this, you even got a solar panel out here?
Yeah, these 3 panels run a couple batteries inside, and we got 3 or 4 lights.
I like that. I wasn't expecting it.
I see the firewood's all stocked up. We'll get this stove going, and it'll get awful toasty in here in a hurry. Here to sit on all these benches along the window. Of course, tonight those will turn into bunks.
Well, I can see myself curling up with a good book there.
Yeah, come on in, I'll show you the dining room. Here's one of those lights that we were talking about.
And what's this pack over on the wall here?
Oh, that's for getting water. There's a spring about a quarter mile away. And once we get some, we'll fire up some tea on a propane stove here. Of course, one of the nice things about staying in the hut is we've got real dishes, which means later on, of course, this is where you'll be doing dishes.
Oh.
And the centerpiece of this kitchen's a nice big wood-burning stove. What's really special is we've got an oven here, so we'll be able to do some baking tonight.
Oh, I like that.
Let's go outside and get our stuff, then we'll come on back in and pick out our bunks.
Oh, I like the construction of this place. You know, the exposed logs really give you a feeling like it's solid.
Yeah, I think it's pretty incredible.
Hey, who's this guy? He looks like he's having a good time.
This is an old friend of mine. His name's Fritz Benedict. He's actually the architect of this hut and original member of the 10th Mountain Division. And is considered the founding father of the entire 10th Mountain hut system.
No kidding. What, do you just choose any bunk up here?
Any place you want.
Yeah, I know where I'm going, right here. Oh, these are nice.
Now, don't get too comfortable. We still got some single track riding to go do.
Oh.
See you at the bottom.
Okay. Mountain biking is relatively new to backcountry trails, and while there's still plenty of room for everyone out here, the days of recreational free-for-alls are gone. So the rules of the trail for mountain biking are, first of all, stay on the trail. They're usually pretty clearly marked, and concentrating the use has less of an impact on the environment overall. And second, you want to always yield to hikers and horse riders, and that means getting off your bike and pulling off the trail until they've passed. And third, you want to respect private property. Out west, that can mean simply leaving livestock gates as you found them. And anywhere else, it means getting permission to cross before you go over private property. And fourth, you want to avoid using your mountain bike in areas that are closed to mountain bike use, especially designated wilderness areas. And finally, you always want to ride in control. It's not only safer for you and anyone you might encounter, but it's easier on the trail surface. Whoa, I don't know, this is starting to look pretty steep and I'm losing control.
Well, some tips we want to work with on a loose, steep terrain like this is actually use your front brake a little bit more.
Front brake? Aren't you going to go right over the handlebars if you do that?
Well, if you get your weight back, right now I only have my front brake on. It actually has a little more stopping power than the rear. Watch this, rear, front. Of course, we want to use both of them most of the time for ideal conditions. Okay, John, give it a try.
All right.
Okay, get off the rear brake.
Oh, hey, that's pretty nice.
Excellent.
Hey, piece of cake.
Yeah. Well, there's some pretty gnarly terrain. Got this log up ahead.
Whoa. Now, this is a major obstacle to the average mountain biker, but it's only part of the playground to an unusual form of bicycling called trials. Well, co-host Peter Whitaker checked in with one agile trials rider on his home practice course. And be forewarned, this is the kind of bike riding you want to try only at home.
Trials riding is to mountain biking the way rock climbing is to hiking. They're both technical extensions of their sports. Up there is Jay DeJesus, who's a professional trials rider, also editor of Dirt Rag and Mountain Bike Magazine. Whoa! Nice leap, Jay.
Thanks.
Tell me about this trials riding.
Well, trials is a sport that originated in Spain. And the basis is to be able to ride your bicycle over whatever obstacles Mother Nature throws in front of you without putting your feet on the ground.
What's the difference between your trial bike and my mountain bike?
Well, this is an actual trials bicycle. And the differences are it's got a really low, sturdy frame, soft, sticky tires.
Fat tires.
Yep. It's got this really low single gear and this rigid skid plate.
Wow, that's tough. Good for bashing rocks and stumps, huh?
Yeah, it enables you to grind over things without damaging your frame or the chain of the bike.
What about this seat? It looks small.
And the seat is actually more of a point of counterbalance than for sitting on. I use it against my calf, and that helps me maintain my balance so I don't have to put my feet down.
So it's more for stability.
Right. You don't sit down too much on a trials bike.
How does riding a trials bike compare to just riding a regular mountain bike?
I'll tell you what, let's grab your mountain bike, and I'll grab mine, and we'll head up the hill.
All right, to the top?
Yep.
All right, sounds good. Hey Jay, these shin pads necessary?
Absolutely. Well, if you slip a pedal and the pedal hits you, it'll save you from a lot of skin loss and definitely some pain.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Good things to have.
Hey, show me a few tricks.
Okay, I've got a rock that I'm faced with right here, so I'm going to accelerate towards it and thrust up it with my body and my bike. Now I've got my brakes on and hopping around to turn the corner. Still have my brakes on. Now I'm going to roll in the downhill. So I get my body back, keep the brakes on, make the corner, and I've got a log up ahead, and I go with my front wheel and thrust over.
Nice
Okay.
ride.
Thanks a lot. Let's you try it now, Peter. I'll start with the downhill.
Okay. How about a few pointers for the descent?
Okay, just stay relaxed, stay focused on where you're going. You want to keep both hands or both fingers on the brakes.
Okay.
And when you start rolling in, get your weight back so you can get some brake traction.
All right, well, here goes nothing.
All right. Beautiful.
A little rough, but let's go find some more.
Sounds good.
Hut living is a group experience, so it's important that everyone pitch in. And chores are pretty straightforward. Fetching water, like I'm doing here, chopping wood, kitchen detail, general tidiness mostly. And far from drudgery, most people look forward to the simplicity of hut life. And the key to enjoying yourself really is to focus on being what they call the good guest. You know, the kind of person everyone wants to invite back. And that boils down to basic courtesies like keeping your muddy boots outside, keeping your gear confined to a fairly small space, and respecting everyone else's space. Of course, if you snore, I don't know what you do there, except it'd be a nice gesture to bring earplugs for everyone else in the hut. Hey, this looks great up here.
Hey, John, you timed that just about right.
Yeah, what do you got going?
We got some pesto pasta with sun-dried tomatoes,
Uh-huh.
and also just out of the oven, some jalapeno cornbread.
Oh, that looks tasty. Can I dig in?
Have at it.
Oh, that's delicious.
Morning, John. You about ready to get going?
Well, not quite yet.
What's the matter?
My wake-up call this morning was a flat tire.
Ooh. Well, I tell you what. Let me dig out a repair kit here, and we'll get it fixed, and we'll hit the trail. Tell you what, actually, why don't you take a new tube, put it in, and I'll start working on your old one.
Oh, you got a spare. Good idea. What would you do if you didn't have a spare tube along?
Well, then we just go ahead and patch this one, put it right back in, and ride on.
Uh-huh. What if you didn't have a patch kit?
Well, then we got to get creative. One of the things, actually, here, pick some of this grass. You can actually take grass, roll it up, put it right inside the tire. You can also throw in sweatshirts, gloves, anything to give us a nice, firm ride.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be the most comfortable ride, but it'd get you home, wouldn't
Well,
it?
yeah, it'd get us home, and that's important. Some other things you can do, take a piece of duct tape and then cut up an energy bar wrapper. Here's a piece right here, because it's going to be airtight. And then just lay that right in over the hole. A little bit of creativity, and we get to keep riding too.
That's pretty slick.
Then if we get really, really desperate, check this out. Find where your hole is.
Oh, you're talking major surgery now.
This goes along with the saying of sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make a cake. We just tie a knot in it, simple overhand knot, pump it up like we normally would, and watch this.
Now, doesn't this knot create a big lump inside your tire?
Well, yeah, we'll have a lump in the tire, but a little bit of a badoop is an awful lot better than walking all the way to the Betty Bear hut. Look at that. It's actually working.
So what's the trail like up ahead?
This is what it's all about. Smooth single track with just a few dips.
Oh.
Hey John, just use your arms and legs to soak up these dips.
Whoa.
You gotta pick a line, commit to it, and then pedal like crazy.
Now what's that noise?
Yeah, it sounds like a chain problem. Let's pull over and take a look.
What do you think it is?
It sounds like a stiff link. Yep. What you want to do is spin your chain backwards and look for that derailleur to bobble.
Oh, do
You
that
see
again. No, I missed it.
Okay, watch this. Right there.
Oh, I see it.
Usually means the stiff link's really nearby. There it is.
And what do you do about it?
Well, all we're going to do is just take that link, force it into a Z, flex it back and forth, reverse the Z, flex it back and forth, and that ought to get it. There we go.
Well, that's a pretty simple cure.
Real simple.
Now, what causes a problem like that?
Well, probably remember those stream crossings earlier today?
Yeah?
Or I just forgot to lube my chain this morning.
Oh. You got some lubricant in there?
Yeah, I'm going to lube it up right now, and then we'll get going. All right.
Nice, huh? Oh, this is a nice way to start out the day. I mean, I know we got a long climb ahead, but it's a real gentle incline.
John, actually, I like these climbs. Once your body gets in a rhythm, the riding kind of disappears. You have plenty of time to really enjoy the views. Also, gives us time to talk, maybe figure out the meaning of life.
Oh, how much time do you say we have on this climb?
Oh, we probably got about 3 hours today.
Well,
Unless, of course, we turn it into a race.
oh, well, so much for a leisurely wake-up. Oh, well, you can really start to feel that altitude. Well, we just went over 11,000.
Well, hang in there. We just got a little more to go. Hopefully it'll clear up, because once we get to the top, there are always great views. Well, here we are, John. Continental Divide, 12,000 feet right on top of Hagerman's Pass.
Well, I don't know if we had enough time to figure out the meaning of life, but it's a pretty nice climb.
Well, let's get off, take a quick look. Get out of here before we wish we brought our skis.
Yeah.
Come on, John. It's just over here, I promise. Now you gotta trust me,
Oh.
okay? Close your eyes.
All right.
See this ridge covered with snow over here?
Yeah?
Right, that big peak, that's Mount Massive.
Oh.
And then
okay.
off to the left, way down in the valley, that's Leadville. That's where we're going.
All right.
And there's the road we're gonna take down.
Uh-huh.
If you look way back over Hagerman Pass, that nice sunny meadow over there, that's where we started.
Wow. Hey, it's beautiful.
It's way beautiful. I'm gonna take a picture.
Well, sometimes beauty and adventure means simply marveling at nature's surprises and at the people you're traveling with. Often, the most memorable adventures come when you've been hit by the unexpected. Of course, it's comforting to know that you're headed for a cozy hut in the Colorado Rockies. So we'll see you next time on another Trailside.
Smile.
Okay, Charlie, as we head downhill, I want you to close your eyes. There's a 10-foot gaping hole right in front of you.
I trust you.
Available now, the complete series of Trailside illustrated guides, hiking and backpacking, bicycling, kayaking, cross-country skiing, and winter adventures. To purchase, call 1-800-TRAILSIDE, 1-800-872-4574.
Oh, I love the sound of the wind rustling through the aspens out here.
Yeah, they're actually one organism interconnected by the same root system.
The home video of this program, as well as other programs in the Trailside series, is available for $19.98 plus shipping and handling by calling 1-800-TRAILSIDE, 1-800-872-4574. Trailside is made possible in part by LL Bean, providing sporting gear and apparel for people who love the outdoors for over 80 years. And Chevy Trucks. Next time you're having fun outdoors, remember, you're not alone. And Weider Nutrition Group, makers of Tiger Sport bars. Nutrition for your body, fuel for your sport.
Beautiful.